Home. The crashing of the waves, a soundtrack to my every move those 14 nights. Sunday, to Sunday, to Sunday. Day in, day out for so many years of my childhood. Playing on the sand, tumbling through surf with cousins, and drifting off under stars on those rare nights we were game enough to sneak out. These rare nights whose frequency increased more and more as we rose through adolescence. Dock workers and bakers went about their business as the village glowed with promise of a new day. Across town, we farewelled the moon, creeping back to our beds. We spent those nights on the very edge of the world. From when clocks ticked over into the next day, to the first suggestions of light above the sea. For a few precious hours, we were the only ones awake in that slumbering seaside suburb, and what felt like the entire world. That particular summer, my last summer. The gravel sang under our car's tires. I raced into the house, savoring the unique sense of my cherished abode. Clambering up the stairs, I caught a glimpse of blue walls and wooden posts. Once in that familiar room, I let out a deep sigh of relief, and peace settled through my core. The window opened, and the breeze carried in memories of sweet summers past. Later that night, after filling our bellies, my cousins and I sat around the campfire, swapping tales of our year gone by. The youngest among us would come of age this summer. She looked eagerly around, a smirk playing on her lips and adventure dancing in her eyes. It was a beautifully warm evening, and she begged us all to go for a midnight swim. The water was enticing as the waves crashed heartily some distance from shore. We played in darkness, splashing in white water that sparkled in the starlight. Seduced by the rhythms of the ocean, time ceased to exist. In the early hours of the morning, we gathered on the sand, happily exhausted. The eldest of us first noticed the absence of tonight's instigator. Panic clawed at my heart, terror poisoning the perfect night. Where is she? The question echoed in my mind until it became a consistent white noise. We raced back into the churning surf, calling her name. Calling. 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 Two of us hurtled back to the house, raising the alarm. I stayed in the water, bellowing her name until my throat was red and raw. I didn't stop, I couldn't stop. At sunrise, morning light barely illuminated the gray weeping day. I sat on the sand, scarcely registering the search boats, and the townsfolk combing the waterline. Tears rolled down my cheeks. We had lost her. The gravel crunches under my car's tires. The house is owned by others now, and looking at it, I only feel pain. It's been 20 years since I last stood here. I solemnly walk to the beach under a gray sky, sitting on the sand, lost in thought. Tears trace a familiar path down my cheeks. Starting back to my car, I stop at the weathered cross our family placed for her. I finally find my voice and read the inscription, "May your spirit always be carried on the waves." Rest in peace, Maya.